Hello everyone, welcome to December's Coaster B Diorama entry. So I will just start by saying, obviously I've not entered for a couple of months. Unfortunately I just didn't have the sort of motivation or time to complete the November Dark Ride Challenge. If you did want to see sort of the attempts that I made for that, I did post it up on Discord. I went for a sort of museum style theme. And yeah, I wasn't really feeling it, so I left that one out. But fortunately, he has made this mini park contest for this month, so let's take a look at what we've got. Okay, so here is the map for December. Obviously it's really small, using the mini coaster, which is sort of a coaster type that I don't really use that often. So it'll be interesting to see what we can do with this. As it's December, I do want to go for some sort of Christmas theme. Try and vary it a bit from the usual style, but I've not really got any ideas at the moment, so I'm going to sort of do a bit of Googling and see if I can come up with some inspiration of what to build for this challenge. So let's get into the time lapse and let's get started on it. So what I should probably first mention is that I decided to do a vanilla build to give myself a bit more of a challenge. This was something that I was going to do in a previous challenge, but then when the November one turned out to be the Dark Ride, I started building that one not in vanilla with mods. So yeah, this is my vanilla build because I missed out the October challenge as well, which was a vanilla only month. So the theme that I've decided to go for is a fantasy style fortress in a snowy, icy, nice wintry setting. Kind of a bit of a rip off of Frozen, I guess. And yeah, the challenge really was to see if I could build this sort of castle, fantasy type castle in vanilla with the pieces we have. Now for the roof turrets or spires or whatever you like to call them for the towers, we didn't really have anything that was tall and spiky enough, so I decided to just wing it and use a load of rock pieces rotated. Although they don't look perfect, I think they sort of do the job and give the impression that I was going for with this. So yeah, that's the basic. I had to sort of see if I could build something like that at the start to see if this theme would really work. I didn't use any references or anything like that. I just wanted to sort of go for it really with my own sort of imagination, which I find is always a bit more difficult. But yeah, once I got the foundations for the castle in, I started working on a rock formation to go near it, and I thought it would look really nice with these gemstone pieces. Maybe just to sort of resemble pieces of ice jutting out. And because it's going to be a very white coloured build, I wanted to add a bit of colour to it as well. The colour variation isn't really huge in this map because of the theme that I'm going for, so I had to sort of work at different ways that I could get a bit of variation with the colour there as well. So for the other sort of roof shapes, I just used the steampunk roofs and tried to sort of colour them similar to the castle torrents so that it all looks nice and similar. Obviously they're different textures, so they do look slightly different, but I think it works out fine. Obviously we're really limited for amount of space because this is a mini diorama. It's a mini map. It's 10 by 10, probably the smallest map I've ever built on in this game. So I thought the way to get around this is to build vertically so that I can get enough stuff in the map. It sort of reminds me a bit of an old Roller Coaster Tycoon scenario called I think it's called Micro Park, in the very first Roller Coaster Tycoon game, where you had to complete the goals of the scenario with a very limited amount of space. So it meant a lot of sort of putting rides on top of each other and levels of pathing and stuff like that to get everything in. Whereas with this, because we didn't have any goals or anything, it was literally just, see if I can build something nice in this small space. So yeah, you can see the shape of the castle or fortress, if you like, has really come together now. It isn't completely finished. I do jump around doing different bits on it and then go into different parts of the map and then going back to it several times, just because I kept having different ideas for other things that I wanted in there as well. I really struggled to find any space whatsoever to put the pathing in here, so we end up with the shortest queue in the world. I probably could have thought of a better way to do that, but by this time I had quite a lot of the map already built, so I just sort of went with it, and it looks fine. But yeah, I mean, I like the sort of challenge element of the size of this map, because it really meant that we had to use our imagination and think of different ways in which to build stuff and how to get everything in. I took quite a lot of time thinking about the track colour as well. I went back to that several times, which I don't think was recorded, but this is the sort of colour that we go for in the end, I think. Well, no, did I change it? No, I think I've changed it to a more sort of purpley colour in the end, actually, because it blends in a bit too much with the map, with the sort of water and the scenery as it is, so I needed to change that up a bit. And we have some triggered effects on the doors as it goes in and out of the fortress. The only downside really is, because of the way it's built, a lot of the coaster you don't actually see, but unfortunately that's the only way I could really do it. With the fortress itself as well, it's a facade, so the back of it would just be a maintenance area. If you imagine it's just sort of a tiny bit of a bigger park. I mean, this is something I could definitely imagine Disney doing. I'm sure they've got a Frozen Land in one of their parks now, but a little mini coaster like this going in and out of a sort of frozen castle would be really, really cool. But yeah, at this point we're only halfway through the video, but you can see that most of the map is already in place, so really it's just adding detailing and tweaking things. Another thing I do here is custom supports, which I think turn out looking really nice. I build them using the prop pieces from the adventure pack. There's loads of stuff in that adventure pack that I think is really useful when you're building in vanilla, and you'll see what I mean when those go in towards the end of the video. I also do some sort of little icicle effects on the station type building, which isn't really a building at all, it's more like a sort of bridge or an extension of the palace, or the fortress, sorry, but that's sort of what it's meant to resemble. I guess this could be connected to another building sort of off the map somewhere, maybe. Just got to use your imagination for that. And we put in some really nice lighting as well, as you can see in the thumbnail for this video. I think it looks even better at night, this one. So I'm going to leave you to enjoy the rest of the time lapse for this build. I'd imagine this would be the last Parkitect video I do of the year, unless we sort of get time to do one between Christmas and New Year. But either way, I wish you all a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year and all the rest of it. Hope you have a really good one, and I will see you all in the next build. Thank you very much for watching. See you later.